Well, welcome. This is Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison on the Pro Brick exclusive YouTube channel. And thank you for joining me. I'm out on the bike today. It's a beautiful day, actually. Lots of bikes around, lots of police around. And you don't want to get caught up with the police. My daughter's a policewoman. I don't practice as a theologist anymore. The calling went off my life, and I recognised that, had the sense to recognise that, and gave it away. Instead, I chose to pursue a steady relationship. I've had a couple since, but nothing really has worked out long term for me at this point. And I definitely won't be going back on dating sites or things like that. I didn't find the accountability and responsibility level of people good enough, to be honest. I thought it was quite abusive, to be honest. I met women that were in the sack within 45 minutes, several actually. I was in bed with within an hour, and I'm not complaining about that, but where does that end up? Some were just on the internet site out of spite for their boyfriends or partners or husbands. I think some of them were even married, as far as I understand. And then they come and take their frustrations out on a stranger sexually, or however it is that they meet the needs of their resentments, and then go back to the devil that they know. It's a very dangerous game, the online dating meat market, and I'm not going to play that game anymore. I like to meet girls. I like to go up to them and say hello, and most girls are friendly. They'll tell you if they're interested or not. Yeah. When you find yourself involved with a narcissist, how do you recognize that? How do you know what you're getting yourself into? Well, it's pretty easy with narcs, because the narc they'll love bomb you at the start. You're everything I've been looking for. I never thought I'd find anybody like you. I knew the minute I saw you, you were the one. These kind of statements that are hyper devotional, extra devotional, at a unrealistic level. I mean, these people haven't even had time to get to know you, what your standards are, whether they're going to be able to match them or live with them or even date with them. And what you'll find is these very same people will, when they don't get their own way or something's not suiting, will go from "you're the best person that I've ever," or "you're everything I was ever looking forward to a narc." The next thing, he was a narcissist, or this kind of language and things. I haven't heard that vocally describing me, but if I was a fly on the wall, I would imagine that would be the case. When you've got standards in terms of health, spiritual, emotional, mental, physical health, and people masquerade that to some extent that they live that way, only to find out that there's covert medicational issues and covert alcohol issues and unresolved mental issues and relationship issues and these kind of things. It's really hard to help them to find a place of peace. I've met several women now that have had medical issues, older women, because they haven't looked after themselves properly in their lives. I've met women that have, and you try, I guess the point, jumping ahead a bit, is what I'm trying to make is you want to love these people and you want to look after them and care for them and that, but their history, what they've been through, what abuses they've had to go through, were they culturalized in their relationships not to deal with things that could be fixed and helped for the benefit of everyone? Were they culturalized to turn to a substance outlet instead of dealing with the issue? Were they culturalized to be quiet? These same people will tell you that they've fixed this and they've fixed that and this and that, only to your surprise that when everyone when things are happening that are out of your control, they just don't seem to want to face, particularly their children, I suppose, things that are unfavourable for the relationship. One thing that I've learnt, viewers, is that when it comes to mothers and their children, they'll try to put you in a place of importance. They really will. But if their children are wearing at them against you, villainizing you, psychologically, covertly abusing you to them, like these mothers cop a hell of a time from their children, adult children included, if they don't like you. Particularly if you find yourself in a situation where you need to speak up about something that's just rude or out of order. Remember one lady I was seeing, you'd go down and see her and then the golden child would try and pull her away from you, like deliberately take her away. And again, I wasn't going to involve myself in all the rights and wrongs of this, but it was so blatant and so destructive. I said to this lady, do you know, is he aware of what he's doing? Is he aware of the way he's behaving? And she said, I've never seen this before. I'll tell you why. They'd never had a sober-minded man in their house before. And it was stirring up all kinds, and being a sober-minded person who values my mind, these people weren't that way inclined. I don't say that critically, they just weren't. And when you put yourself as a wise man who's spent his life working on himself mentally, emotionally, physically, and all the rest of it, and you put yourself in a place where that's not happening, it's going to bring some manifestations. You've got to be aware of this. It's going to cause some serious manifestations. On the one hand, the woman's going to want you. That's out of the children's control. But on the other hand, the children are going to do everything they can to divide you. You have to believe me when I say this, because I've seen it time and time again. And they won't stop. And if the mother doesn't pull it into line straight away, you're not going to make it. You're just not going to make it. The oppression, the spiritual darkness, the torment that comes with this, and watching this woman or these women being unable to... Hang on, guys. Just a bunch of bikes going past. Watching these women trying to find a way that they can make things work. I've lost marriages over this. I've lost and walked away from relationships with you. I've walked away from relationships where covert alcohol and drug use has been involved, and they'll turn up to your place drugged or under the influence of something, the medications and things, and they're just totally unaware that you're aware that things are wrong. And you're really trying to care for these people. You're setting them up in... I've got a beautiful place where I live. I'm really blessed. I've been blessed in life, and I've worked hard to get what I've got. Hasn't been easy, and I've had to be steadfast in the way that I've made my life and the way that it's what I've accumulated. For somebody that was illiterate at school and couldn't read and all that and write, and sitting on a $15,000 beautiful motorcycle. See it? I think my thumb's in the way, isn't it? Hang on. They don't make these anymore, they were too dangerous. K1300R BMW, but I've been blessed, and the reason for that is I stayed straight. I'm not saying that, you know, if you drink or you're on drugs you can't get anywhere. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's so much better, the life that you can have when you stay straight. It's just so much better. I've been lucky. I've gotten to love beautiful women in my time, and I've always set out to try and stay with them. But I've come to the conclusion that life doesn't work that way for me. Life is, it's my turn, and with that person, it's my responsibility to produce the best masculinity I can. But at my age, which is 60 now, nearly 57 going on 60, I might as well say it, I don't think at this point in my life I'm going to meet the right person, or someone that really is going to be able to work in with me. I'm not being final on that. I just don't, you know, the effort that you can put into people and the way in which they sabotage themselves and the relationship is just profound, absolutely profound. And it's just the way things work out. So be aware, be self-aware, know what you're getting yourself into. Love bombing is usually the sign of a narc. You're the best thing I've ever had. You're the one that I've been waiting for. You're the, I knew as soon as I saw you. Nobody's ever touched me like this before. God must have sent you. That's the first sign that you might be in for some unusual behavior. But keep trying, guys. Be strong. Don't lose your mind. Don't give in. Come back to yourself. Try not to hurt anybody and all that stuff. But you'll find if there's drugs and alcohol involved, you're gonna get exhausted. If there's dysfunctional enmeshments between the mother and their children, you're not going to make it unless she's some exceptional woman that will set up boundaries that protect her love for you. But not many women will do that. They're too enmeshed with their children. Your job is to stay strong, stay on your purpose, mentally, physically, emotionally and spiritually. And if you get the opportunity to share some time with somebody, do the best that you can. Be the best that you can. Don't attach. Just be the best that you can. You don't have to attach to somebody every time you're with somebody. It's not a good idea. Guard your heart, the Bible says. That means do not attach unless you are absolutely sure of what's going on in every aspect of the relationship. So for now, this is Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison, Theologist, on the ProBrick exclusive YouTube channel. See you on the next one. Bye for now.